In terms of TV, of course, Pete and Terry are back at it. We continue to work with Fox. We should have more games on high def this year, and you will continue to see that grow year in and year out. We're also going to, longer term, we're working on getting more of our games. This year we'll have 55, but we're working on trying to get more games on Fox. So I think you'll see some things that we'll bring up on that in the next couple of months. I don't know if you've all saw, but our website has been redesigned, and we launched that yesterday. We're very excited about it and the new look. There's been a few teams already that have launched it, and we are early in the process, and we feel really good about that. We're actually investing in our staff in terms of our web, so we can keep that up to date, because we want you to come to our site to get the most current and best information there is about the Nashville Predators. In terms of the community, we continue. Our guys just do a great job of getting out in the community and supporting the community. In fact, last week, JP and I went to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital and presented Vanderbilt with a check of $120,000 that you all helped raise. We did a couple of events last year to help raise that money. But you know what's more important about that money? It's what our guys at the end of the table do. After we presented the check, JP spent about 2 hours visiting sick kids that day. That means a heck of a lot more to those kids than the money does. And then finally, in terms of youth hockey, we continue to grow that area. We've continued to invest more money in that area. We've increased the budget each year. We're working hard. Andy Boyman, who heads that up, she has just done a fabulous job. We had 13 local area kids, the squirt and peewee level, travel up to New York in the Aces Got Skills competition, and 3 kids from Nashville came away with a national championship in the skills competition. So that was great to see. So we've got a lot in store. We're doing a lot. Every year we make the experience here better and better for you, and we listen to you, and we're looking forward to a great year. So I will turn it over to Mr. Poile.
Ready for coming out tonight. It may be the off season for these two gentlemen to the left of me, but it's been a pretty busy time for myself and the hockey ops. I've been up to Milwaukee after the season to look at our team up there and our prospects. I was over to Europe to watch the World's Championships. I was a little bit a part of assistant manager for Team USA, where Ryan Suter played for that team. Shea Weber and Dan Hamhuis were playing for Canada. Pekka Rinne was playing for Finland, and we had a young player by the name of Roman Josi, who's a defenseman. He's just 19 years old, playing for Switzerland. So a lot of travel in the off season. Then, of course, we had the entry draft, which you all know is extremely important to how we build the Predators. And about 10 days ago, we just finished our conditioning camp, and we had every one of our draft choices here for the last 2 years. And I can tell you with a great deal of confidence that the future is very, very good here in Nashville. I was going to say spectacular, it's like patting yourself on the back, but it's really what David said. Our scouts are the best in the National Hockey League, and they have a great eye for talent. When I'm buying my house, the first thing I look at is the foundation. If I have a strong foundation, then I got a chance of wanting to buy this house. And we've got a strong foundation throughout our organization. In goaltending, we've got Mark Dekanich, a player that came from Colgate University, played in Milwaukee this past season. You're going to hear a lot about him. He was a middle round draft pick. You're going to see our first round draft pick, Chet Pickard, playing in Milwaukee this year. So we have 2 of the best young goalies in anybody's system. On defense, we have a lot of defense prospects. I know a few of you might have been a little upset with or I heard that anyway. People were twittering like Sully. They're twittering. That's another story if I take it aside. I just got the call from Sully's agent. We made the deal. And by the time I got out of the office to tell anybody in the organization, Tim Darling had told me that, did you know that Sully's not selling his house? I said, I did. But in any event, I really appreciate I've always appreciated your support, and I really think that we've drafted a special player on a first-round pick. And I did just say to Sully when we were watching the video up there, and Ryan Ellis, you know who Ryan Ellis is? He's Sully as a defenseman. That's exactly what he is. There was a lot of people that didn't think that Sully was ever going to play hockey. He was not a drafted player, and he proved a lot of people wrong, and he's still proving people wrong. So. So staying with the youth for a second, we've got Ryan Ellis, who we'll see at training camp. Jonathan Blum, who was the defenseman of the year in Major Junior a year ago, will be playing this year for us. I mentioned Roman Josi, good young player from Switzerland, will be coming over a year from now. Probably is going to play on the Olympic team for Switzerland at age 19, which is pretty good for a young player. Up front and forward, we're starting to get some size. You saw a little bit of Colin Wilson, our first-round pick last year. And another good thing about a lot of the players that we've drafted, like Ryan Ellis, he won the Major Memorial Cup of the National Championship for junior hockey. Colin Wilson won the NCAA championship at BU. Like to have winners in the organization. He's about 6'3", 215. Our second pick this year was a young kid by the name of Zach Budish, and he's already 6'3", 230 pounds at age 18. So those are the bigger type of players that we'd like to bring into our organization. We've got some young players coming from Milwaukee, some people that you probably haven't heard too much of. One player by the name is Nick Spalling, a second-round pick 3 years ago. Really a good-looking player. A very versatile guy. He can play wing, can play center. Very detailed player that the coaches love, and I think you're going to see him play some games this year. Last year, you saw a couple of younger guys, Mike Sandarelli, Cal O'Reilly, that got a little bit of a cup of coffee, as they say, coming up here. I think you're going to see more games out of them. Also, some players that we tried but didn't play on a regular basis. I think a year older, a year wiser, like Ryan Jones and Patrick Hornquist. I think they're really going to vie for places this year on our hockey club. As I've always said, the road to Nashville is almost always through Milwaukee, and that's the way it's been for the Predators. And as David pointed out, it's worked out really well for us. Milwaukee probably has one of the best records in the American Hockey League in the last 5 or 6 years, and it's proven to be a real great resource for us. To help us with all those young kids, I made a really good signing, I believe, in this off-season by signing former Predator Martin Jelena to be our... to be our Director of Player Development, and I'm sure both Sully and JP would agree. We only had Marty here 1 year, but tremendous impact on all of us in our organization, just a super person, super pro, if you will, and he came to the conditioning camp, came to the draft, and he just jumped in feet first, if you will, and he's going to be dealing with all of these younger guys as kind of their mentor, and I think it'll really speed up the growth of these younger guys. On July 1st, we started free agency, and the Predators got the best 2 players available in free agency, Joel Ward and Steve Sullivan. Your manager was a little slow in the draw, but he finally got it done. So, but seriously. It's great to have both Joel back. I mean, Joel probably was the biggest surprise, if you will, of all the signings a year ago at this time. Basically, a player signed as a depth player, somebody that probably play in Milwaukee, maybe get a few games up here. He got 17 goals, played in all situations, and was really a great addition for all of us. And what can you say about Steve Sullivan? He came back, he got recognized by all of his peers and the writers in the National Hockey League and you, the fans, by winning the Masterton Trophy. Fantastic comeback. Last year was the first time that we didn't make the playoffs in 5 years, and we're going to do everything we can to return to the playoffs this year. Our ultimate goal is to win the Cup, of course, but I think our first goal is we got to get back to the playoffs. Yeah.